What do you know? What do you know, YouTube? Tell y'all what I know. I decided to come out and run a couple of days. So, we're sitting in Texas. I got a load update for you. And I got something I wanted to talk about. So, oh yeah. There's my old man. That's old Digger back there. We got 3 dogs. He's the oldest one of the bunch. Apparently he's gonna root around and try to figure out some way to mess up my bed, I guess. Anyway, so I got a load update. I'm only running from Monday through Thursday. I'm basically doing like an out and back. Going home for 3 days for New Year's. Didn't have much going on this week, so decided why not come out here and make a couple bucks, I guess. So I have something I want to discuss though while I'm here. I've had some inquiries, and I feel like I kind of need to address it. Something that I won't do is I won't share how much I make. I'm not going to be one of those people that post my settlements and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to tell you. I'm basically not going to do homework for you if you're interested in becoming a lease operator or owner operator. I feel like if you're interested in becoming a lease operator or owner operator, you might want to know how to crunch some numbers. I did a video on my fixed expenses, so that's out there. My fixed expenses for an SFI lease truck, I've posted those. I've discussed them. I'll do load updates all day, every day. And the numbers that I give, good or bad. I mean, I'm learning. I'm new at this whole dry van thing. So, the numbers I give are the numbers that are paid to the truck. That is, there's no percentage coming out of that, none of that. I'm on Schneider's airboard. They're all in revenue. So what I see is what I get. I don't know what percentage they take out of it. Different loads, there's different percentages. So I'll share all day long what loads I'm hauling, what they pay. I'll share each week how many miles I ran. So you can take the mileage, you can crunch the average rate or average mile per gallon. I've shared that. This truck gets over 8.5 all day, every day. Every once in a while, if it's heavy, it's going to lag down a little bit, but if you average it out, it's 8.5, 8.6 all day, every day. In my driving, the way I drive. That's another thing. No 2 drivers are going to drive the same. You know, I might get 8.6 miles a gallon out of this truck. Somebody else might get in and only get 8.3. You know, just depends on how you drive. So, for me to come out and just say, hey, this is how much I make, I don't feel like that's fair to, for one, I don't feel like it's fair to people that are watching. You know, my work ethic may be different than the next person's. So, you know, only you know how you would run. Only you know how hard you would work. Only you know how many miles you would run. So, I don't want to send a false sense out, you know, or put numbers out and make people think, oh man, that's how much money you can make. Well, that's how much money I make. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to share that. Like I said, I feel like if you're interested in becoming a lease operator, owner operator, you need to know how to crunch numbers. You need to know what the average cost per gallon of fuel is in the United States right now. You know, you need to know what your cost per mile is. You know, you need to be able to crunch numbers every day, every week, every month, every year. Like, this is stuff that is part of being a lease operator and an owner operator. You are running your own business. So I'm not going to do the homework for you. I'll share the information that I feel like you need to know. But at the end of the day, you've got to put pencil to paper yourself if you're interested in knowing what kind of money is potentially out here. I'm not the best at it. There's people out here that are killing it. I make a decent living. And so I feel like what I share has some value to it. So with that being said, I'm not going to come out and say, this is how much I netted this week. Not going to do it. I'm not going to show my settlement. I'm not going to do any of that. So, something else I will talk about though. I've had questions about tolls. Schneider provides an ElitePass. They put it in the truck. They don't charge you for having it. They do charge you for the tolls you run though. But there's not like a monthly charge or anything like that for having it in the truck. I didn't have it in my truck for very long. And I'll get to that in just a second. But anyway, I think they charge you for your tolls once a month. So, somebody might jump down in the comments and clarify if they've been doing this for a while. I feel like it was once a month. It would just all of a sudden hit all your tolls. I might be wrong on that. It might be every 2 weeks or something. I'm not 100% positive on that. But I don't have the ElitePass in my truck. It didn't work for me. I mean, it worked, but it didn't work for what I needed. It only covers you for tolls in the Northeast and like the Northern Midwest. And I think there's 1 or 2 tolls over on the east that you can run with it. I'm from Oklahoma. I need something that I can run Oklahoma tolls, Kansas tolls, Texas tolls. So the ElitePass their ElitePass didn't work for me. I went and got in touch with PrePass. And mainly because I wanted something that would give me the bypass for way stations. I got tired of pulling into way stations. When I was with Prime had PrePasses in all their trucks. And I don't think we got red lighted very often. I don't know what the percentage rate was. But for the most part, we got green lights most of the time. So I got a little spoiled to that. Schneider didn't provide a PrePass. Basically, if you wanted a PrePass, you were on your own. And so I went on my own and I went and got one. I got in contact with PrePass and I got what they call an ElitePass. It does tolls and way stations. I've got mine set to where it will run all tolls in the lower 48. Also with that, when I first signed up for PrePass, the Schneider's safety score got me a 90% green light is what they advertised. Whenever I applied for it and all that, with Schneider's safety score, PrePass told me that I would get green lighted 90% of the time. So I wanted that. With that being said, I got an email from PrePass like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, saying that Schneider's numbers has now bumped up to 95%. So I get 95% green lights now. So well worth it. Now, what do I pay for it? Now that's what I was getting at. I'm rambling here. What do I pay for it? I want to say it's right at $20 a month to have the device. They bill it straight to my business account. $20 a month for the device. All right. I'll pay $20 a month all day long to blow past way stations. Won't hurt my feelings, not one bit. Now, the tolls on it. Now, as you run the tolls, it bills you for the tolls. It bills straight to my business account, takes the money out as I run them. There might be a little bit of a lag, like a 24 or 48 hour lag. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't sit there and watch it hour by hour, but yeah, they bill me. And then once a month, they email me a statement. That way I've got a statement that shows what all I got billed for that I can turn in for my expenses. So that's the only other thing that I have that is what I call a fixed. It's not part of it's fixed and then part of it's not fit, so the $20 a month is a fixed cost. My tolls is not fixed. It can fluctuate from one month to the next. So that is the only other thing that I pay for that I did not discuss in my SFI lease. And I think I missed out on discussing it probably because I didn't have it yet. I think I was in the process of getting it, but I didn't have it yet. So, like I said, I won't discuss how much I make, but I'll put numbers out. Like, I'll put load numbers out there. I'll put my fixed expenses out there. I'll tell you, Schneider's discount on fuel. Last time I checked, it was up to 50 cents a gallon. So I'll share that. That way you kind of have an idea of what to expect for a fuel cost. It's not hard to find what the average price per gallon is in the United States. So I give my total miles. You can take the total miles by my average mile per gallon, multiply that by the average price per gallon, and that'll tell you basically what I paid for fuel. So, like I said, I'm not going to do the homework for you. I don't feel like that's necessary. If you're looking to be a lease operator or owner operator, that is something that you should be able to do. You should be able to crunch your own numbers. So, enough about that. I've drug it out long enough now. Let's get to the load update. So, I grabbed a load going from Wichita Falls, Texas to McCalla, Alabama. I don't know how they pronounce it. Anyway, so I was at the house, didn't have a trailer, had to go get a trailer. So, 118 miles to Ardmore, Oklahoma to get an empty trailer. From Ardmore, Oklahoma, it was 98 miles to Wichita Falls, Texas. So, also, I want to add something. I'm going to start talking about whether or not these are dropping hooks and live loads. So, Wichita Falls, Texas, live load. I was in and out of there in about an hour and 15 minutes. Place was amazingly fast. There was one truck in a dock ahead of me. I think they only had 2 docks. I think that's right. Yeah, there was only 2 docks. Might have been 3. But they only load 1 truck at a time, though. But they did let me go ahead and back up to the dock that was next to the truck that was already in there. Once he was done, they started loading me. So, load only weighs 6,900 pounds. Love light loads. So, from Wichita Falls, Texas to McCalla, Alabama, 753 loaded miles. That brings me to a total of 969 miles. 6,900 pounds for 969 miles. Love light loads. I don't like hauling heavy. I don't think anybody likes hauling heavy. At the end of the day, when you've been hauling heavy, you're wore out. A light load don't wear you out near as bad, unless it's windy. That's a whole nother story. So anyway, 969 miles, load pays $1,873.29. So with all of my deadhead looking for a trailer, that puts my rate per mile on this load at $1.93 per mile. Now, when I first booked this load and was looking at it, it was like $2 or $2.02 a mile or something like that. But had to go find an empty trailer. That's just part of it. When you go home, they don't let you take the trailer with you unless you're only going home for a couple of days. I will say, if you're doing that, have another load booked. That way they don't yank your trailer out from underneath you. So, but yeah, I went home for, what was it, 9 days, I think it was. So there was no way of getting around that. I had to drop the trailer off before I went home. So this load will be unloaded probably tomorrow, and then I'll be on to the next one, which will take me back towards the house, and I'll have a load update on it. So hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Be safe. Keep the rubber down, shiny side up, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.